So this week was very grant heavy for me. I applied to the Rosalind and Elliot Jaffe Retail Entrepreneurship Grant, and honestly, it stretched my brain in ways I wasn't expecting. And I feel like no one really talks about what applying for grants is actually. It's not just fill it out and hope. It's more strategic than that, obviously. It's emotional, it's time consuming, and it forces you to really understand your business. The first thing I learned was that due dates matter more than you think. A lot of grants are either due early in the year or at the very end of the month. So me applying in February was actually perfect timing. If you're building something, start looking now and not when money is tight or time is desperate. Another thing is that they ask for everything: your GPA, your leadership in clubs and things that you've done, your work experience, all of that separately typed in. And this specific grant had AI detection built in, which was humbling because I obviously use AI as a tool. But this forced me to sit with my own thoughts and write in my own voice, which honestly was kind of good for me. It made me slow down. It told me I've actually come really far, which was grounding, because when you're inside your own brain all day, you don't always see progress. But I found specialized sweat hiding fabric. I've completed my branding. Shout out to the Etsy branding package I found over break. I've built a survey audience, and I've identified a small batch production facility. And hearing someone say you've done a lot reminded me that grants aren't just about potential, they're about momentum. My opinions have changed in just 2 months, so reviewing a pitch deck often is great. Otherwise, entrepreneurship can feel like chaos, and it's really easy to get distracted or overwhelmed. There's always another email, another idea to jot down, and another tab open. This week also made me realize how important my content pillars are: entrepreneurship, fashion, and mindset or spirituality. Because applying for funding touches all three. Entrepreneurship, obviously; fashion, because I had to explain Ava's Armour in detail and why it matters to me and why it's important to others; and mindset, because rejection is always possible. In this work, it is mentally intense. It forces you to think about your numbers, your scalability, and the actual impact you're making with your business, which is very different from just designing something cute or having an idea and not executing it. They want proof, not just ideas. So in my pitch deck, I included a few things. Problem, which is sweat visibility in professional spaces. I also included real customer discovery quotes from 130 plus survey responses that I collected last year after pasting flyers around campus, asking if people want to stay in touch and be a wear tester or follow along the journey. Also, my interview with a dermatologist about the psychosocial effects of hyperhidrosis, which is wanting to hide from certain activities in spaces because of their sweat stains, which I thought was an awesome and amazing point for her to make. Another thing I included was my competitor grid, my beachhead market, which I obtained from using US Census data because judges love to hear data and numbers. And so I started with Columbus professional women, and I'm going to scale out. I also included revenue streams, so I'd be selling direct to consumer and then hopefully partnering with retailers nearby and probably doing a few pop-up events and markets. I also included in my appendix a cost per unit breakdown in case there would be any questions about things once my high-level pitch had finished. Basically what I'm trying to say is they want to see that you've done the work and you've thought about the details. For example, I had to explain minimum order quantities for fabric. One supplier requires 5,000 yards in a minimum of 3 colors, or MCQ. That changes your entire funding ask. This isn't just, I need money. Here's exactly what your money will fund: the fabric, the cut, make, and trim labor, the packaging, and the testing that I had to pay for myself along the way. If you can't break down your numbers, that's usually a sign you don't fully understand your business yet. And that's okay, because I haven't always thought about these details, but grants force you to get there, which is great for figuring out your business and learning more about what you're getting yourself into. I think what surprised me most is how mentally heavy this kind of work is. You're asking someone to believe in your idea, which requires vulnerability. So this week, I had to really double down on my routines. Journaling at night, going to the gym, even if it just meant walking, putting my phone away. This is something I'm still getting better at, though I just ordered a cheaper option of what people call the brick, which is a physical device that you can tap your phone to and it locks out distracting apps instead of using the setting screen time reminder. Decluttering my space, literally trimming the stems of the flowers in my room, and being grateful for my health, for my cat, for being able to even try this at 21. Because if you don't regulate your nervous system while building something, burnout creeps in fast. And I don't want Ava's Armour to be built from stress energy. I want it built from clarity. When I looked back at my pitch deck from just 2 months ago, I was shocked. The way I think now is different. When you're on a deadline, your brain is squished. You make decisions quickly. But when you zoom out, you see new possibilities. And that's another thing about grants. They make you refine your timeline. In my next step slide, I had things like launching a podcast and hiring a team immediately and expanding aggressively. And now I'm like, okay, slow down. Maybe it's about consulting first. Maybe it's about testing 100 shirts. Maybe it's about proof before expansion. Growth isn't always doing more. Sometimes it's editing. This week was messy, challenging, growth heavy, but also exciting, because funding isn't just about money, it's about someone saying, we believe this should exist. And for me, Ava's Armour isn't just clothing, it's my passion project. It's about women being able to wear color without fear, to sit in meetings without anxiety, to not plan their outfits around sweat marks. That matters. So if you're building something, especially in college, don't wait until you feel ready. Start refining now. And if you're into entrepreneurship, fashion innovation, and building something with intention, subscribe, because we're documenting all of it in real time. That's it for this week. Thank you so much for watching this YouTube video. Turn on post notifications for a new video weekly. Let's keep baking.